Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about my peppers. Pepper plants are usually considered as annuals, but with some winterizing you can actually make them perennial. So when you winterize, you just want to keep the plant alive and not for it to start bearing fruits or flowering and bearing fruits. So you just want to keep them alive indoors so that in the spring you can bring them out and put them in the garden, and so that it can start to grow. So why do I winterize? I want to winterize because I want to have a head start. If you saw my video of when I harvested my peppers, you will see that they did really well for me. So I just want to take them in. As you can see, the fall leaves are here. The leaves are turning brown and falling. It's getting cold, but the plants are still in the garden. Every other thing is just about gone, but the peppers are still in the garden. So now to winterize, these are the things that I do to winterize my peppers. So if you want to try it, if you have a plant that's done so well for you and you want to take it into the house, you can just follow these simple steps so that you can ensure that you have a successful hibernation of your plants. Yeah, in essence, I'm gonna go and hibernate with my plants. So the first thing I'm gonna do is to go pick a pepper plant. So you can see that the peppers are still here. Every other thing is virtually gone, but the peppers are still here. As it's getting colder, I'm just gonna pick one or two of them that I'm gonna take indoors with me. Alright, I'm gonna go with this. So I have my plant right here. It still has some fruits on them. You can see it still has some fruits. So you have your plant. So what you want to do now is to make sure that you get all the fruits out of there. I know this one has some flowers, but they're going to fall off on their own. Get all the fruits out. So I'm going to pluck all the fruits out. It has a lot of fruits on it. Yeah, the plants, the peppers just keep producing, as long as the weather is still conducive, they just keep producing until the first frost. Okay, yeah, so I got this much from this plant, so far. So that's how much I got. You've got all the fruits from the plant. So next thing you want to do is to make sure that you rinse out the roots. Because you have the garden soil, you don't want to take in anything that will start growing inside the house with you that you don't want. So you want to rinse out the roots and make sure that all this garden soil and any microbes that might be in it is all gone. So you want to do that. After rinsing out the roots, what you want to do is to make sure that you hose down the plant itself and the leaves. So you want to do that because you might have some insects with their eggs on it. So you want to make sure that all of that is gone before you take them inside. And you know the arch enemy of the pepper plant is the aphids. So you want to make sure that there's none of their eggs in there, and you don't want to take any of them with you into the house. So I have my hose right here, so I'm going to hose my plant down. So this is the container that I'm going to use to put the pepper plant in. I've already prepped it already. It's clean. I've cleaned it out. You know, you wanted to make sure that everything you're using is clean. I've cleaned it out. There are rocks in the bottom, little rocks in the bottom to help improve drainage, and a little mesh. After I put the rocks, I put a little mesh to prevent the roots from blocking the drainage in this container. So I have already filled it with a little soil, almost halfway. So almost halfway I've put the soil in it. So what I want to do is to place my plant in it. Place my plant in it. And then I'm going to fill it up. So what I'm using is potting soil. This is also fresh soil. I don't want any soil from the garden. I want fresh soil. I want clean plants, clean roots going into the house with me to hibernate. Here we go. So everything is all clean. My hands right here in this bucket. The next thing you want to do is to get your scissors and you trim back the leaves. There's still a lot of leaves here for hibernation. I'm not taking this plant in for it to, you know, start flowering and producing fruits for me. I'm only taking it to hibernate. So I'm going to keep it alive until the springtime, when I'm going to plant it in the garden to have a head start. All right. So now I'm going to cut back the peppers, and when you want to cut back the peppers, you want to look at the Y junction and you want to cut from there. So you cut off, trim that off. So you trim that like that. So this is a good size for me for this container to hibernate in. So I'm going to leave it like this. Some people like to, you know, pluck out all the leaves before they take the plant in. But I like to leave the leaves there because, number one, when you place it where you want to place it, preferably on the windowsill, it can be decorative, and then the leaves will start getting yellow and then they'll start dropping by themselves. I like them to do it naturally because, you know, pulling the plant, hosing them down and chopping them off, you know, has stressed the plant already. So you just want to make sure that they gradually take their time, drop the leaves as they want, and then they begin to hibernate. That will tell you that they've started hibernation. So the plant yellowing indoors and the leaves falling indoors, that is normal. So this is what I wanted to share with you today. I'm going to take my plant in. I'm going to do one more. I'm going to take two in to hibernate with me so that in the springtime I'm going to make sure that I have a head start, and my peppers start producing early for me. So that is why I take my peppers in to hibernate. So if you want to try it or thinking about trying it, go ahead with it. Just simple steps. Just take the plant, make sure that you hose them down and use fresh soil, fresh potting soil, and just trim it back, and then you're all set. Indoors, you want to make sure that you don't water the plant too much because it's not outside. It's not going to require as much water than when it's in the garden. So you want to make sure that you water it sparingly. Only water when it's you think that is looking dry, then you give it some water. And then when you make sure that when you water it, you don't water too much because the plant is just hibernating. You just want to keep it alive until it's time to plant it again. So that's all I just want to share with you. Until next time, keep planting, keep learning, keep growing, and thank you for joining me today. If you've not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. I'll see you.